strong magnitude 4 quake and swarm west of Yellowstone struck today. Idaho earthquakes continue after the magnitude 6.5 of the night of March 31st towards April 1st. It's about 190 miles west of Yellowstone. We know that there is a magma under there. The mantle plume runs from Baja California. This cross-section of that part of the mantle plume goes towards Salt Lake, where we have volcanoes there, and another earthquake swarm. 5.7 happened on March 18, and that cross-section, as we see, goes up into Yellowstone and then turns west, as you can see, very close to the surface, under Idaho. This is the same mantle plume that goes under Yellowstone. And this 4.1 did shake Yellowstone supervolcano. Let's take a look at the maps. Berkeley, and this is our area of our Idaho earthquakes. Snake River Plain right here. And these are the earthquakes of the past week, are the yellow. The blue is the past day, and the red is the past hour. And just before that one, we had this one, 3.2. So we're looking at the 4.1, and they're all superficial. They're very close to the surface, as we can see. That's where the magma is sitting. And this is Yellowstone Lake right there. Hebgen Lake over here. As we can see, we have various quake swarms going on there. This is Salt Lake City here. We still have earthquake swarms going on there as well. Now, the mantle plume that we saw a cross-section of before basically comes this way from Baja, coming up this way through Salt Lake City, where we have 8 volcanoes south of Salt Lake City, going up to Yellowstone, then turning west into Idaho, where we have 9 volcanoes there in that volcanic field. The western part of that mantle plume goes here under the San Andreas Fault and under the Long Valley Caldera Walker Lane Fault System, where we've had a very large uptick of earthquakes around east of the Long Valley Caldera supervolcano, the California supervolcano. We'll take a look at that in another video. But we're looking at this right now and going to our 4.1 of Stanley, Idaho. Even though hardly anybody lives there, 58 people reported feeling it. And this is our shake map of that area right here. Unfortunately, USGS just stops the block here. This is the craters of the moon. As you can see, that's lava flow right there. You can see that is even pristine looking even today, that lava flow there, craters of the moon. Now, if you extrapolate these frequent shake intensities, obviously they had that's Hebgen Lake, definitely shaken Hebgen Lake and maybe even Yellowstone Lake. These are the fault lines, as you can see there. And again, this is the area of Salt Lake right there. Let's pull out a little bit. Okay. And this here is Long Valley Caldera. This is the area where we have California, Nevada, and that's another part of another video we'll look at later. But this is the shaking intensity, very strong. And as you can see, obviously, it must have shaken the area around here. If you extrapolate those, it could have been felt there as well. Now, the Idaho volcanoes, there are 9 volcanoes in that plain right there. Right there. That's what's being activated. And this is the area of our Yellowstone Lake is right there. That's Salt Lake right there. Looking at this map, they look pretty close together, don't they? As we saw before, that's the same mantle plume. Geologists say they're not connected, but that is the same mantle plume. Now, the craters of the moon is where we saw the lava flow, located northwest end of the largest lava field of the Snake River Plain in Idaho, USA. The volcanic field contains over 60 lava flows, 25 cinder cones up to 250 meters high, over 1,000 feet, and 8 eruptive fissure systems, and covers an area 1,600 square kilometers. There we are, craters of the moon. And ended in the most recent so far eruption only 1,200 years ago. In contrast to the craters of the moon, most other lava fields in the Snake River Plain form during single short eruptions On average, lava output rate was 1.5 cubic kilometers, 1,000 years in the period 15,000 to 7,000 years ago. Okay, so let's go here. Now, oh, sorry about the Great Rift. The 25 cinder cones formed primarily along a 45-kilometer long segment of the Great Rift. Rift is where we have the separating, the stretching out of the Earth's surface because there's magma underneath. So there's a rift there as well. The principal 2 to 8 kilometer wide fissure system that trends northwest southeast of the crater of the Moon National Monument, the northern part of the field, is overlapping White Knob and Pioneer Mountains. And okay, here we go. Going back to this. This is the these are the areas that these are 1 out of 5 normal or dormant, and again 1 out of 5 craters of the Moon, Wapi lava field volcano, 1 out of 5. And now these things here, just because they're dormant, probably extinct, doesn't mean that they don't come back to life. We saw that happen in a recent volcanic eruption of a Russian Kamchatka volcano, where they thought it was extinct. They didn't even have it on their listing of dangerous volcanoes, and then they found it full to the brim of lava, and they had to evacuate the area because it was about to blow. So this is the area of the volcanoes of Idaho. And again, going back to this, as we can see, it has daily activity, just as Salt Lake does. After the Salt Lake March 18, 5.7 magnitude earthquake out of nowhere, and a few weeks after that, on March 31st, 6.5 earthquake out of nowhere hitting Idaho. So all of you there, please be very careful. And USGS did tell us that these nearby earthquakes in the vicinity would have a hydrothermal effect on Yellowstone, in that it could change the way the plumbing systems worked. More fissures turning into geysers, or geysers erupting more often or less often, things like that taking place. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.